It's okay. Off your mind. It's okay. Off your mind.
Chai! Now wow, people wey suppose talk truth to power don off mic, and if we talk, na 500,000 they go sama us, call am hate speech. But fear not, Mayegun don come. Him go torchlight every corner, nooks and cranny of all these bad people where they spoil our country. So my people make we loud, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Mayegun politico, Mayegun don come, this one not the off in mind. Mayegun don come, can in the touchlight every corner. Mayegun don come, okay, some people be they holla say they want the power. Chai, them be promise us say we go get light and power. Them hustle sote they can't get the power. But now they know they do anything with the power. Every day, dollar just they get the higher power over naira. See them talk say make we off mind, but thank God say Mayegun don come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. My people make we shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Mayegun diary politico, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. This one not the off in mind, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Mayegun, that man too they talk. He too they talk. Say Mayegun diary, he dey hot like pepper. But every day then they take money in bulk. Poor man pikin dey the street they hawk. Still them talk say make we no talk. But thank God say Mayegun don come. So my people make you loud, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. My people make you shout, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, man of the masses, oh yo yo. Mayegun don come, oh yo yo. Mayegun. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Mayegun ti dé o, ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Bó bá ṣe eré, àní Mayegun máa wí. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Ó sì tún ṣe eré, wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Mayegun diary, diary politico. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgbọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò. Mayegun diary, Mayegun number one. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Mayegun ti dé. Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Mayegun ti dé. Àní àní ẹ̀sùn làjù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn làjù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn làjù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Bí pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Máyégún máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn làjù.
Máyégún ti dé.
Hello there, brethren. So good morning to you, good afternoon to you, and a good evening to you as well from wherever you are joining us. It is Máyégún live. And thank you very much for joining me. So please read the caption of the broadcast and read beyond that. Read the description of the broadcast as well. Then like it, share it. Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, your frenemies. Tell them to join us. You can use the opportunity to invite the Ronukus, the Ronu Nazis, the bastards, the bat idiots, the crumb eaters, the crumb chasers, the ass lickers, the all-risers, as many as possible. Tell them to join us, because the question everybody is asking right now is that, do you really think Nigeria has a government or even have a president? A president. So Tifnumbu has been somehow like hiding inside his own asshole rock with his court jesters. And Onofunuga, who has been like dishing out different press releases since this chaos seems to have escalated. Yesterday, the Americans were discussing the killings in Nigeria with the acknowledgement that there were there is a delegation from Nigeria led by Ribadom to go and meet with the congressmen discussing these killings in Nigeria. And at the same time to convince them that if Tinubu's regime is doing something or is doing a lot about this. The Americans are not really convinced. But back in Nigeria, it has been a gale of kidnapping and killings, wanton killings. So, which has somehow got a lot of people also talking that if the Americans want to really help, like Donald Trump proposed, then they should hurry up. Because it's obvious that since Donald Trump made that tweet, right? It seems like more and more attacks have been reported, not because there are more attacks now, but because there is more searchlight on these activities of these terrorists. Even the people themselves have now become reporters who are they are reporting the movement of these terrorists within their own vicinities, communities, even like hours before the strike. So Tifnumbu's regime continue to play hide and seek, propaganda and lies. They haven't really shown any real resolve to go after these terrorists, like these terrorists have increased their own attacks on Nigerians, school children. Some people are saying that what is going on with this new kidnapping of school children by this Fulani terrorist of recent, what actually led to that, the surge, including the swap as well. So people are saying, well, maybe apart from Nigeria, it seems that the terrorists are those who are indeed ready for America. There are so many kind of all in what is being kind of projected for that contraption. So if they tell you that you are not at war, they are lying to you. So yesterday, while Americans were discussing the killings and the kidnappings in Nigeria, even while they were still using the 25 school children they kidnapped in Kebbi by 2 a.m. the following morning, in Papiri, I think that's the name of the place, Papiri, in Niger State. The Fulani terrorists struck again. Yeah, this time around, right, they took 52 children. These are like school children again. Girls. They have taken them successfully with no resistance, with no nothing. Even though we know that a former governor, they call him former governor, Bago, right? Who said they have been using non-kinetic approach to negotiate with the terrorists after the terrorists shot down one of the Nigerian fighter jets in that same state. So, school children, what are they using them for? Others are saying that most of these children have been sexually abused, which Nigerian government is very much aware of, and they've always been like keeping it, off the public, keeping it away from the public. So, why are the terrorists now embarking on these massive school kidnappings? And Nigeria government kept saying that they like Rebadon, by the way, who is currently in Washington, trying to convince Secretary of State for America, right? He's trying to convince him that, they have done so well. It's just, I don't know whatever he's telling him, probably we don't want you to come and strike them because we are dealing with them already in our own way. And in fact, we do not want you to come to Nigeria and possibly with the mindset of Christians are being killed. At the same time, online, they are pushing the narrative that Americans' interest is probably like a triggered or could even like further trigger Christian-Muslim, clashes in Nigeria. And so many other things they are throwing at it enough to try to shield these terrorists from actually getting what is coming for them. So Kolu yesterday announced that, well, not Kolu, it was actually Onofunuga. They announced that they have sent Patawale. Patawale is a notorious terrorist himself, even though he's also the Minister of State for Defense in Nigeria. The irony. So Patawale was sent to Kebbi, as that's what they said. They sent him to Kebbi to go and look for the children kidnapped. And when Patawale got to Kebbi, as usual, right? He sort of like organized a sort of military parade for himself. While they are busy doing that in Kebbi, they've already kidnapped over 50 children again in Niger. This was Patawale in Kebbi, I believe, yesterday.
Move past you. You know Mumu reach me, guy. I swear to God, that talk, I'm move past you. I'm move past you, Gege. I'm move past you. Ask anybody. See, you go argue this thing, but I swear to God, I'm move past you. You just see how they move before. Me, Gege, I'm move past you. I'm move past you.
If you see where these people they mumu, it will be like a mumu competing with themselves. Vanity, self-aggrandizement, just vanity. Children got kidnapped days ago. That was on Monday, 5 days ago. Not a single one of them has been rescued, despite the fact that they've told us they've sent the Air Force, they've sent the Army, they've sent this, and they've sent Patawale. They said Patawale was a very good negotiator, and he understood the terrain so well to go and meet with the terrorists. 52 school children, right? They were taken from St. Mary's Catholic School in Papiri, Niger State. That happened 2 a.m. this morning. Do you know what kind of logistics you are going to need to take 52 people plus yourselves successfully, undetected? How is that even possible? To kidnap one person, God said, I don't think it's easy. Talk less of going into a place, shooting everywhere down, and taking children. So initially, we were told that the children they took from that school was actually over 200. But the school authority, right, they released a statement where they said, they were still doing head counts when the media reported it. 52 school children, ranging from the ages of 9 and 12 children. Yesterday, in Tsafe, local government area of Zamfara, the same terrorists took 64 people. They kidnapped 64 people, including women and children. That was in Zamfara State yesterday. Yeah. The same criminals, this was like about last week or weekend though. Yeah. The same criminals entered Angon. What is last weekend? It was on Monday, not even last weekend, when they killed 4 people in Eruku, in Kwara State. They also took 38 worshippers, including women and children. 38. And right now, as you are watching this video, you did not see that live view, live broadcast you saw that day, right? Right. You saw those people in that image, in that video? Those are the people the terrorists are now asking that for them to be released alive, then their relatives will have to cough out 100 million naira each. So they are demanding 3.8 billion naira ransom for what they did in Eruku. Right now, the terrorism has now been fully acknowledged in Kwara State. The Kwara State government, they have shut down schools in 5 local government areas of Kwara State because of the threat of this terrorism. And the purpose of all these jihadists is that you know that Boko Haram, the ideology is the same, right? Now, shut down the economy ministry of the people, destroy their economic base, at the same time, destroy their infrastructure, including schools. Shut them down, disrupt everything. And your government still feels like negotiating with them is also part of their strategy to keep you safe. No. The same criminals attempted to in Buhari in Abuja yesterday, the Federal Capital Territory. They attempted, right, to kidnap people in Buhari until policemen showed up. And guess what? Well, that was not that bad because they killed 2 policemen. And the policemen also killed 2 terrorists, according to them. This was also yesterday, right? Now, what do you call it? Somewhere in Gwoza in Borno State, right? They slaughtered 8 members of the civilian task force, all this their JTF, the terrorists, the Fulani terrorists, slaughtered 8 among the JTF members. The same way they have been slaughtering soldiers. You know what I mean? They did the same yesterday again. It was bloodbath, right? In the last 48 hours, it's been bloodbath. That you could easily just ask that, where's your president? Do you really even have a government? No, you don't, right? So you have 15 people abducted again, including nursing mothers, and 2 people killed. This was in Sabon Birni in Sokoto State. This was also yesterday. Listen to that again. 15 people abducted. That means 15 people kidnapped in Sokoto State, right? 15 people kidnapped, including 4 nursing mothers with babies, right? And this was in Sabon Birni, in Sokoto State. Not just that, right? Also, 4 rice farmers were also reportedly killed by these Fulani terrorists in Eruku, in Kwara State, yesterday. Just the same yesterday, Thursday. Right. The terrorists also, right, succeeded, which is what they did this morning, in taking these 52 school children. And this is just a partly info week. Meanwhile, a year ago, when everybody was practically just feeling that what exactly was Tinubu doing, there were reports before the US Congress, right, of these old killings. They asked to rebut dump. And UN, and rebut dump boldly told them, he was like, there's been no single strike of terrorism in Nigeria. This is the problem. Denial.
Today we are beginning to see the end of Boko Haram in Nigeria. And that is a fact. It's not just talk. We've heard what was said. Since the coming of this administration, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, we have not witnessed one single terrorist act in Nigeria. Terrorist act, we mean like attack by terrorists. We have had it many in 2022. The attack on our train, our own prison, our gas battalion, our churches in 2022. And throughout 2023 and now, we have not witnessed one.
The UN Deputy Secretary General reiterates the crucial need for adequate resources to combat terrorism effectively.
So my hopes are that when I see the multi-stakeholder attendance here that has been put together by the NSA and our Office of Counter.
So, Rebadam, who is now in the US, trying to convince except that they are doing all their best with these terrorists. Meanwhile, the social media continue to actually expose them. It's a tough job, isn't it? They're trying to pretend that the contraption, which has most media blackouts, right? And the same thing, you expected that, and when you now leave that contraption, you realize that a lot of people knows what is going on. A lot of people knows what's going on. With fact, then you now discover that these people are actually it's either they are actually so stupid, or many Nigerians are very, very foolish and stupid deliberately. You understand? Because this is it. When you listen to them talk, sometimes you'll be asking yourself, hang on, what post did, who is this person? They say he's a minister. This one is a minister. Speaking for government, right? Say, yeah, this one. God damn it, man. So these are the horrible set of incompetent criminals that you have in your government. Like, you just look at that Nigeria and be like, so this when you look at Tifnumbu, and then you see all of those guys around them, with all these overinflated egos, right? Because of the office they are holding. And because of the way they talk to Nigerians anyway. So when you listen to them outside Nigeria, just be like, this person is so dumb. How is this one a minister? How is this one a governor? Because the worst of the land actually rules over the rest of the land. Right. So there is a minister they now sent to this, his own misinformation minister was sent to channels to go do some spinning. At least this one seems like a water don't pass Gary. You are trying to tell everybody that they are just exaggerating things. Then suddenly they are kidnapping children. So right now they are cooking what they are going to. I mean, they have been trying it since yesterday anyway, for about a week now. They have been saying that, oh, this is the pattern they used in removing a Berejolantano. Here you get that they have started, kidnapping school children. Nobody is saying what happened to your security in Nigeria, that they have made you to accept that it's all right for terrorists to be roaming your communities in the name of a peace meeting. Then you act surprised that they are kidnapping school children, they are kidnapping ordinary civilians and the rest of them. They are killing soldiers. Why are you pretending? Why are you asking stupid questions? If Tipnumbu and his gang are doing their own job, right, that they've made it so impossible for anybody to come and do any mass kidnapping or touch any school in that contraption, do you think you will be seated now and be saying they are using the same template they used for Jonathan? These are human beings, these are people's children, you know that. So they send somebody to go and spin it, the Minister of Misinformation.
There's no government, and I don't see the value that anybody, any administration will take, and especially the administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. It's saying that people just get killed like that. It's a very sad thing. The president is really saddened by that, and that is why, even before this designation of Nigeria as a country of particular concern, even before the threats that President Trump issued, recall that the president had rejigged the security forces, removing the service chief, the chief of defense staff, and appointing new ones. Now, the idea is that at every time when you have these challenges, you come back and recalibrate and find ways and means of ensuring that you do the things that you are doing better, so that you can guarantee the safety of lives and property of all Nigerians. But there is something very fundamental, Sheung, that we all need to talk about, and that is the designation or the perception in some quarters that that's what is called religious
doing. For reactive and not enough.
Let me say this: it is very easy.
Does this government feel guilty in that regard?
No, it doesn't.
That you are not doing enough.
No.
That you are complicit by keeping quiet or looking away under a particular ethnic and group of people. How difficult is it to identify those who are killing innocent Nigerians?
Well, it's sometimes difficult. You remember that this is not a conventional warfare. These people come into where there is a large concentration. In some cases, some soft targets. They come to areas where, people are largely unarmed and they perpetrate this crime and then they run away. But in most cases, they have been apprehended. I think sometimes we forget about some of the successes that we have recorded in the fight against these, bandits, criminals, and some of these jihadists. We've had a lot of progress in that direction. From May of 2023 to date, over 13,500 of these criminals, these are figures from the security agencies, have been neutralized or taken out of our society. 13,500. Over 17,000 of them, have been apprehended. Many of them, even as we speak today, some of them have had their days in court. Some of them have been sentenced. Last week, the masterminds of the crisis that we've had in the past, the conflict we've had, some of them have already been, Ansaru leaders that were abducted, internationally, wanted by the Americans, by everyone, through the coordination by our security agencies. These people have been apprehended, sentences have been given. I think that we should recognize
but
that.
the government, the past government says,
there's no government.
Nuisance Lele. Nuisance Lele.
There's no way I could describe him. So he was asked, did you think that Tinubu's regime is doing enough in combating these terrorists? Let me explain something to you, my listeners, this hour. The terrorism in northern part of Nigeria, right, has the support of their political class wholeheartedly. Okay? So, Tinubu there is a gang knows the names of the sponsor of this terrorism in Nigeria. The DSS, the NIA, they have in their possession the sponsor of this terrorism. They have those who are financing the terrorism. They have those who have been financed to use their mosques to preach this hatred, hateful rhetorics and messages, in order to sort of like, breed this group of terrorists for different, they are jihad, by the way. So when you go to the core north, where most of these terrorists are now controlling, Baba, you will see normal people, you will see terrorists. They are coexisting. Nigerian government is now saying, because they are coexisting, it will be difficult to go after them. What Nigeria is not telling you is that those people who live under the command of these terrorists in Sokoto, from Sokoto to Taraba, to Zamfara, to Kaduna, to all these areas, right, including Borno, these terrorists collect what they call the taxes from these Nigerians. So and all these politicians are aware. They are. Nigeria military, if you are a soldier in Nigeria military, you will be aware of this too. You will actually know that they will tell you, don't go to that place. You can't go there. Because not that they only have the terrorist camp and all that there, the entire surrounding and everywhere, they are under the command of those terrorists. After they have killed those, they will kill, and keep those, they will keep. That's what they're not telling you. We have had where terrorists are conducting Jumat service in some of these conquered areas in northern Nigeria. Terrorists teaching children Quran, reciting Quran to teach them and all of that, organizing Jumat prayers in the open with their guns, hanging behind on their shoulders, right? And the politicians are aware. So when they asked that idiot, you know what he said? It is not that easy. It is not easy to name the names of those killing Nigerians. Then he went on to say, they have killed 13,000. Ask him to give us the proof. He can't give any. 13,500 terrorists have been killed. 17,000 have been apprehended. Ask him, where are those 17,000 terrorists arrested? In which prison are they being kept? And in which court are they being tried? He's talking about the ISWAP commanders that were arrested in charge. People that have been declared wanted by the Interpol, by different countries, because of their role in that axis that looks like a Bermuda Triangle. That side be like Bermuda Triangle. It is the passage of hell because of these terrorists. So they were caught outside Nigeria, and this mofo went on TV. They want to say it's been the collaboration of our security forces. We have arrested and we are caught as... No. They escaped. That's what happened. They first initially escaped, declared wanted, and caught. But the real ones who are not carrying guns, the financiers and the rest of them, do you even know that there is this guy called Mamu? Yeah, his name is Mamu. He's the associate of Sheikh Osama bin Gumi. They were all going, they were both going everywhere to meet those terrorists back then. Right now, he's currently standing trial for funding terrorism, collecting ransoms, for the terrorists. Somebody where they do peace deal, they follow Gumi about for peace deal. Quickly use the opportunity to drop his card. He could collect ransom for the terrorists. That's what the government said, though. Right now, they locked him up. But I would be very much happy to see the 17,000 terrorists they have arrested. Because there is no 17,000 arrested. But they bragged of rehabilitating over 200,000 terrorists, while the terrorism business continues to grow, and Nigerians continue to bleed and bleed. Zokalu said.
Yes, Excellency, good evening. Distinguished, Nigerians are wondering, the president suddenly did not go for G20 summit in South Africa. And being somebody who is very close to the president, what do you think that happened?
Well, the president is human, and for the last 24 hours, the president heard about Kebbi. He had been very sad. And heard about Ilori, what happened there. The president had been very, very sad. And now his commitments in South Africa, Angola, other parts of the world have been cancelled. So, honestly, I want to commend President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the decision he has taken for staying back to mourn the girls and have serious in-house meeting with security operatives of Nigeria. He's very concerned, he's very bothered, and we are bothered, we in the National Assembly. And the mood of nation, you can see also that the governor of Taraba State, who's supposed to be declaring for the APC today, cancelled the whole event because of the same problem. So many activities gone down. So President Tinubu have shown leadership, he have shown concern, he have shown fatherly care for the children, the kidnapping Kebbi. And this is how it should be. And the president was planning to even go to Kebbi, but the security stopped him and asked the vice president to go. And the vice president had gone and back. So I thank President Tinubu for his fatherly advice. God will bless Nigeria. Will come out of it very soon.
Nuisance, Lele.
Ojiuzo Kalu, the ex-convict, said Tifnumbu is very sad, he's depressed, about this whole thing. And that is why they couldn't continue their decampment party and all of that stuff. Now take a look at the depressed president. That's the depressed Kalu. The man that is very depressed about this whole thing. He was watching the PDP beat themselves up. Let me bring the picture closer. This is what he was watching while Nigeria born, right? And Ribadom said, Alhamdulillah.
All the boys to come. All of them come. Let them come.
It's been a crazy moment here. A lot of chaotic situation happening in the right inside where the meeting is expected to be taking place. A lot of activities is happening. You can see people on the floor and fighting inside the meeting point.
That was what Kalu was watching. And here is the another angle to it as well.
Please don't go outside. Everybody go outside. Everybody go outside.
Things are getting better for Nigeria. Things are getting better. For Asiwaju is on the throne. Things are getting better. Things are getting better. Things are getting better. Mr. President, things are getting better. Hey, I said, things are getting better for Nigeria. For Nigeria is on the way. Progressive government, things are getting better. Asiwaju, congratulations. Things are getting.
Nigeria is, I don't know. Number one, I pretty much feel so sorry for especially the young people in Nigeria who are caught up in all of this. You know, something that is not your own making. But you are born into a country where lunatics are running the asylum. That's exactly what it is like. And as you have them now, the older ones, you have the younger ones. When was the last time you saw this guy?
But we are on the path of Bat Bola Ahmed Tinubu Bat. We are bound to vote for Bat. Habi Gengosi Habi that. We won't allow autocrats. Aṣíwájú Jagaban meritocrat, debat. It is time to vote non-rat. I can be debat through Democrat. He is needed like a fat. Let's give him free via. We say no to plutocrat. Homo olodode aristocrat. Debat. We are on the prayer mat for Mr. Bat, and that is that. Bat is needed, not the brat. We call on those he baby sat. We give no room for shit chat. Oluremi's husband, the technocrat. Debat. Please pat the frat for the bat. Remember him in your solat. Bat is needed, no pocket. There's no space for tit start. Do take over habitat. For Lashadi's father, the Democrat. Debat. Unlike Pratt that shot and spat in politics, you are not a sprat. Friend of all and diplomat, we want you Father Bat. Fragile header, we won't slat. Oluse's daddy is not a twat. Debat. Worldly famous like a sat. Universally, you are never flat. Fearful idol, they can swat. Bola Ahmed is slat. The gold with full carat. Homo Abibatu, Minister Format. Debat. Visionary leader, we will footbat. Confident leader, we must footbat. We need capacity, we shy footbat. Master strategist, how we footbat. Political oracle, how we footbat. Administrative guru, how we footbat. Straight to Aso Rock. But
we are a poor nation. The bank code we follow. They say firewood not food. They say we need to plant more trees. And they are not giving us money. We need to open our eyes, try shining, and tell the West. If you don't guarantee our finances and work with us to stop this, we are not going to comply with your climate change. Do it.
Do it. Today, the Democrats in America are saying the killings in Nigeria was because of a climate change. So they will wish that Donald Trump, hadn't canceled the USAID. So probably they would have collected money from the USAID in order to fund the rehabilitation of terrorists in Nigeria. That's what would have happened. Yeah, if you are a Democrat in America, that is exactly what they want to do in Nigeria. That's what they've been doing anyway. So the man who believes that if you give him money, he will comply with your climate change. So it's the man who is now facing the Fulani terrorists in Nigeria, and he's got no money, so there will be no shit chat about climate change. But the founder, the sponsor of the terrorism in Nigeria, Tifnungwa and his gang could actually really do us that favor. Leak it. You know what I mean? Just drop the name, leak it out to the media. They won't know it's you. It will just be like a classified. How did he get out? He just got out. The moment is out, you just clamp down on these people. If you can't, let America do it then. They can come and pick up those criminal sheikh, these murderous terrorists, with bedsheet all over their head in that, what do you call it, in that Sharia north. Indeed, I mean, I would do it if I have to escape, being directly being directly held responsible. But leak it. That's why everybody is asking. It's not just those guys who are shooting. Who are those who continue to sabotage the efforts of Nigeria, if there is any? Sabotage the effort of Nigeria in going after the terrorists. Who are those? They actually exist. Igbe Jolanta once told us, remember? Somebody is asking.
List of individuals suspected or accused of funding terrorism in Nigeria, and they're Nigerians. What was the action of the federal government? The government didn't ask for the list to be made public. Somebody at some point, I think from the office of the Attorney General, I'm not sure now, so I shouldn't be quoted, said that, yes, the list, they've sent a list, but to protect the privacy and the rights of the people. I shook my head. Your privacy, your right, you'll be named definitely and boldly by a country other than Nigeria as being responsible for this, because that's the result of their own forensic audit and investigations, and the names are not made public. So to me, if today somebody says we don't know those who are sponsoring terrorism, I will respond that no names have been made public, but that honestly, those who should know those who are sponsoring terrorism in Nigeria and banditry. Those who know should also know that when you think about terrorism in Nigeria, you ask yourself, why is there the general impression all over the country that terrorists, particularly Boko Haram, bandits and all the rest of them, get away with whatever they do? As in, get away with it. Nobody gets arrested. If you hear that somebody is arrested, after some time he goes free. You hear of a bandit leader being turbaned somewhere in the north as a leader by an emir sitting. You hear of arrest, nothing happens after the arrest. You see people carrying high caliber military assault weapons. You see a 17, 18-year-old boy following a number of cows, and he's wielding an AK-47 freely in public. If you have anything beyond a double barrel, if you get a mouse bag, a pump action, you'll be arrested because it's not under license. So that feeling that there's some kind of state endorsement, state silence, or those who should know, looking away, has pervaded public consciousness, such that whether it's true or not, a lot of us, and I'm including myself, believe that there's the unfortunate suspicion that those who should stop this thing are not doing anything about it, and that they are not paying attention to the danger and the damage. Even like the impression is that, it must be our northern brothers who are behind all of this. But I then look around and I ask myself, the rate of killings, kidnappings, banditry, and all of that going on in the north, if the killing of even Muslims when they raid places, it makes you wonder, if they are the ones sponsoring it, are they not intelligent enough to see that they're in the line of fire more than any other place? And you talk of poverty in the place. Yes, poverty is a very good, provides very fertile soil for this sort of thing. If you're not doing anything, and somebody comes and tells you, let's go and loot a store and collect 5,000, you'll follow him. Why is it not taking place? Go and try and organize radicalization or banditry in Lagos. And tell me why somebody will leave what he's doing and follow you. Go and try to organize it in any way and tell me on it, and tell me why somebody will close down his shop and be listening to you about what to do or not do so that he'll give you food. So the place is thoroughly violated. Leadership, civilian leadership is not doing enough. And we're not talking about federal. First of all, every environment has a ward chairman, a council chairman, a local government before you talk about governor. How many of those people reside in their respective local governments? How many of them do anything on a weekly, monthly, or yearly basis? To what extent is their governance at that level? So when a social environment is totally disrupted and there are no binding activities and people are walking in and picking whoever suits them for nefarious activities, naturally, very naturally, radicalization will bloom, banditry will bloom, dissociation of social consciousness will bloom. And that's what we are having, particularly in those places. And you see that there's a perception and reality of the wave of misconduct, which we've captured as a banditry, moving progressively down south, suggesting, yes, there's an origination point, but it's moving into other areas. And so if it comes to maybe Ondo State, and in Ondo State, the place is organized, local governments are functioning, the local government chairman gets 200 million a month, there's an indication of what is going. You have difficulty getting enough numbers to disrupt the place. So you find that in many places in the south where we're saying, oh, there's growing banditry and all of that, you don't find too many of the indigents being the activators. But then also, when you look at the killing in Owo, you then advise yourself, do not draw a typology. A lot of things are perpetrated by non-northerners, and because of the reputation that has emerged over time, the assumption is always from there. Summary point I'm making, the problem is real. The belief that the state is not doing enough is solid. And the fact that most of those who have been apprehended, arrested, accused or whatever, we don't see what happens to them later. And the deliberate denial, too, of some of what is happening in the Middle Belt in particular, where we know villages where people have been wiped out, actually. Whether they're all Christians or all Muslims is another matter. But there are places that can be mentioned with specific names where people were killed and what do you call it? Those who killed them did not leave the place, but began to stay there for some time. Whether they are still there, I do not know. So let's not hide the facts or deceive ourselves.
All right, Prof. Just before we let off,
I'll try to de-emphasize the situation. So I shared a post on Mayegun's Diary Political on Facebook this morning, and it was pretty much like an indirect code, right? Hopefully, few people, but I mean, not many actually really got it, but hopefully some did. I said AK-47 is, 560,000 naira. 1,000 bullets, live ammunition, is 150,000 naira. And to get a gun license in Abeokuta, Elewero, it is 55,000 naira. Those figures are not actually what's wanted to drive home the message. So you can call it a social experiment as well. How do you even feel whenever you hear that you need to defend yourself? Use wherever you have to protect yourself. There's already breakdown of law and order in Nigeria. Those of you who are still pretending to be obeying any law, you are just obeying the rule of the lawless criminals in charge of Nigeria. The Fulani terrorists carries assault rifles, AK-47. We have those ones with cows. The ones without cows, those ones who are riding their bikes, the full-time terrorists, right? They carry all this kind of powerful assault rifles. And guess what? Right before your eyes, you, citizen, you who is a citizen of Nigeria, you dare not walk about with a kitchen knife. You'll be arrested and tried, maybe for armed robbery or something. Then you are watching murderers mingling with your politicians, carrying unlicensed weapons. So you have to obey the law, but they don't have to. So make that make sense. So that whenever they come to kill you, if you have a chance, or if you have the chance of getting yourself protected, just do it, legally and illegally. Because when the terrorists come, they won't even have to check if you have the weapon that is licensed. And be offended that, how can you be using an unlicensed weapon? We are the one allowed to use unlicensed. No. It should be those who live to tell the story, right? That will actually live to tell the story, you know? So I said that. I know that AK-47 is about 1.5 million naira. And to get 1,000 bullets could possibly cost you like 500,000 naira as well. So it's not really that cheap. But again, for those who have the message, it's all about things have gotten to that stage. When you have that capacity of protecting yourself, do it whether legally or illegally. In that contraption today, the terrorists have no legal right to take your life or the life of your loved ones. But if you are still under the law, right, God forbid, say amen, so that it won't be your turn to feature on Mayegun's Diary Politico as the new victim. You remember that Nigeria is something. Let me remind you. In Nigeria, right, you see today's victims, they are yesterday's survivors. So it's those of us who survived today. We are the potential victims of tomorrow. Nigeria is turned by Turn Nigeria Limited. So the more you live in denial, the more you deceive yourselves, the more you tell yourself about this, you're one Nigeria, and every other thing you are kind of like, you say to yourself to, get you to bed at night. When you wake up, you have to realize this is happening. You are on your own. So they are advancing downward, down south. That is the narrative, right? But they are not migrating down south. They are already in the south. Are you kidding me? How many of you living around the Badagry? How many of you living around Badagry today would deny the presence, the massive presence of the Fulanis? Those ones with cows, those others with bikes in Badagry today. Those of you living in the border town in Eruku State, Owodeyewa, Idiroko, hey, are you going to deny the presence of all these guys around you? How many of you right now living in Yoruba land have noticed the surge in Okada riders and the rest of them, just like massively these days, right? Okay. They are not migrating down south. They are already in the south. There are those who are very much aware. There is something called sleeper cell. Sleeper cells are the cells that you will see people who are doing cobbler, gateman, those who are doing laundry, your taxi driver, your bike rider, your electrician, and all of these guys. They could be members of sleeping cell. It's just one call. Just call them, and you will wake up one morning and you will see Abdul, your gate man, opening the gate for the others. They are coming for you. You'll be so shocked. You've been nice to Abdul all the time. He's been working for you. Why would Abdul lead people to come and kill you in your house? This is not Sokoto. This is not Kano. This is Lagos. So if you are one of those who believes that, that some people don't want Ifnumbu to succeed, some people are sabotaging him, is it not time for you to even say it directly to that Ifnumbu himself? Does Ifnumbu himself want to succeed? Does Ifnumbu actually want Nigeria to succeed? Because, I mean, what is going on right now means there are some people who are supposed to do their job, they are not doing it. There is no sugarcoating it. But I also believe that sometimes, right, we may not even be getting that right, because we may be wrong, saying that these guys are not doing their job. Their job is to protect us, is to protect the territorial integrity of Nigeria, is to protect the Nigerians in their homes, in their workplaces, and in their children in their schools. But do you know something? As much as they have failed in that aspect, they have succeeded in keeping over 90% of the politicians, as well as some of your elites, safe. Politicians and their families are so protected that Nigerian security forces and all of these their agents, they've become private guards for some of these politicians. Enough that you can tell the shortage of personnel that should really provide security for Nigerians. Currently, they said Nigeria is like one, listen to this, so they said one medical doctor to 10,000 patients. That's what you have in Nigeria. I don't know if that number is still the same or if it has increased to one medical doctor to 15,000 Nigerians. That's how the shortage in that area. So when you go to the security, right, those who are supposed to be actually like investigating crime, preventing crime before they happen, they have been attached to the VIPs. Most of them are they are providing security for properties that politicians barely visit. That's his own station. go and stay there as a gateman, Nigerian policemen, Nigerian army. They will go and man properties outside their station, something that is completely different from, they're supposed to they're calling. So then the citizens are left vulnerable, and that is why whatever these guys have done in the last decade, they are already within us. To purge ourselves, what Nigerian, this one is even very important, to purge ourselves, right? Tifnumbu and his gang, Obi Dukes, thank you very much. Let me read thank you for your presentation and for doing what all the media houses in Nigeria combined cannot do. Thank you. A suggestion, 2025 year in review, a 1 to 2 hour MDB program, not live, highlighting major events from 2025 diary. I could do that. So I could probably make, but that would be, 2 hours would be too. I'll work on that. So thank you. Highlights of 2025, starting from January. Highlight means the major stories that actually shaped the 2025, preparing you for 2026. That's quite interesting. I mean, beautiful. Thank you. I appreciate that. And I also appreciate your gesture as well. Okay. So there is no intention of really ending this. Nigeria throw over 2 trillion naira. That's how much the defense budget is in Nigeria. 2 trillion, 3 trillion. The last time the budget of the Nigerian defense for 2025 is over 6 trillion naira. These are, this are kind of the money that half of it could go into other developmental needs of the country, But no, they are milking it. You are having retired generals who are like multi-billionaires. They have blood money, blood all over their fingers and the rest of that. So it's all deliberate. So don't ever think it's too far from you. It is not. From Eruku, right? A lady. Hang on, let me first show you the aftermath. They finally gave us the aftermath of what happened in Eruku, in Kwara State. There's another one that happened in Edu yesterday. And as you are watching this video, right, the Kwara State government has been reported to have shut down all schools in 5 local government areas simply because of this crisis. And you really think Tinubu just locking himself up inside that place and sending people to go and spin lies all over the place. And yet one very important decision to make, he couldn't make that. Declare a state of emergency in these hotbed areas. Flood the entire place with different security agents, the military, the entire military structure, Air Force, Navy, the Army, including your DSS, your NIA. Flood these states, you declare emergency there and flush these criminals out. But is that going to cost him 2027? I don't know.
Goodness, President, we are begging you, we are seeking for help. Angel. They took away my sister with her 3 children. They took away my sister. They took away my sister. If I don't care that I'm all, they took away my sister with 3 children. 3 fucking children. Please. I can't do this. I can't bear this. I need you people to support Eruku. Please. This thing is getting out of hand. Toma fi kúrò l'Eruku, wọ́n máa dóbole. Toma dóbole, wọ́n máa lọ sí OC. From OC, wọ́n máa wọ Odo wa. Ìgbà wo náà ni wọ Omaro. We have people. I have a lot of families out there. I have people there. I have family. Good.
If it doesn't happen to you, you can see it in judgment. That's why I kind of feel sorry for some of you, the Ronukus, who believes that calling out Tifnumbu to actually do his job is because people hate him. Maybe some people actually hate him and they have reasons to. But calling him out and you think being president of Nigeria is so valuable, is so important, Yorubas, make these Tifnumbu supporters, especially those of you who are older people, those of you who are in your 60s, 50s, despite your education, your exposure, you have made yourself become so conservative for a wrong reason, for the wrong person. Somebody who has no interest of anything Yoruba at heart, so to say. Politics is all that matter to him, not governance, not Yoruba land. But you make yourself so conservative enough that you are backing somebody who is overseeing the destruction of the Yorubas and Yoruba land. I mean, I saw a conversation between these people online, and they were talking about how much they despise some of these older people, these older Yoruba people, especially some of you watching me though. Those of you that will say, is it today they are killing people? Is it today they are kidnapping Kineko? Is it the kidnapping started from Tifnumbu's side? Oh, it is because Tifnumbu is reforming Nigeria. It's because Tifnumbu is the best government in Nigeria. That's why the enemies. I'm asking you right now, Yorubas are being killed, kidnapped in Yoruba land by Fulani terrorists. And right now, if you are smart enough, being the president of Nigeria favors no region. Ask those who have had presidency. Obasanjo was president for 11 years. First time 3 years, second time 8 years. You can't drive to water on a straight motorable road. Yeah, you can't. And you probably would never until Nigeria breaks. Goodluck Ebere Jonathan was president of Nigeria for 5 years. Road to Tuoke self in no day. To drive from Port Harcourt to Tuoke, road no day. Not to talk about other things that are never there. Bokwari was president of Nigeria for 10 years. The first time, 2 years. The second time, 8 years. Daura is now the headquarters of the Fulani terrorism in that part of Nigeria today. Yes, they got so bad, they kidnapped the head of Daura, the village head of Daura, Bokwari's village head, who also doubled as Bokwari's in-law. They kidnapped him. They paid ransom to release him. So who presidency of a country benefits when your people are being killed? This time, people are not even asking for development anymore. People are now asking for, please protect us. Let us be safe. Bokwari is dead now. The people of Katsina, who do you think they will now probably want to really blame passionately for what they are going through right now? Bokwari didn't bring them development. It didn't bring them progress. It didn't bring them peace. They had peace before APC. Egbekegbe took government in 2015. They had peace. So today, even children are not spared. Tifnumbu is your president today. You Yorubas, I can forgive some of these new sons who are like young ones. Here you get anybody below 30, right? Rooting for Tifnumbu, APC, Egbekegbe in this time, at this point in time, right? I can actually forgive their stupidity, but I can never forgive your toxic existence. Those of you who are in your 40s, in your 50s, in your 60s, defending this madness in Yoruba land. Why some of you are planning to push your Sharia to further put us in further violence and division. You are also using this opportunity to defend those ones who are already killing us, kidnapping us, that we are paying ransom to. Now, a Yoruba man is the president of Nigeria. Who do you think we should be calling right now? Suddenly, you no longer want to call Tifnumbu. You want to call the local government chairman. You are now calling governors. You are calling House of Rep. You are watching this happen right now. But guess what? Your bigotry, your tribalism has yielded nothing for us in Yoruba land right now. Yourself, what they have this thing, they have this personal ego that makes them live on this old time, old glory. You know, Yoruba, our Yoruba, Kingba, our Yoruba, shaking you'll be seeing all this Suluri Brukwa Baufos defending Tifnumbu, then bragging. Our Yoruba, do you not know our Yoruba history? We are Yorubas, this and that, but they are backing a drug dealer who is in bed with the Fulani terrorist, sponsor, using the same template. Let's pretend that it's not happening. Let's talk about something else. How can progress come in the face of a violence? This violence that is not our own making. This was Eruku, by the way, after the... They shot people. They killed 3 people. You don't want to see the video. You understand? There is no single terrorist apprehended. We have seen all of them jumping all over the social media, sending us videos and pictures. So these ones are going after them. This one are going after them. 38 people, including women and children. A woman, they kidnapped a woman, and our 3 children, they are currently in the captivity of these terrorists inside the Kwara farm there, Kwara forest. There's no real person going after them per se, because by now they would have spotted them. 38 people is not just tiny people or tiny group of people, right? So if they were going after them, they would have spotted them. They would have, probably have a drone that shows that, here you get. But they are not going after them. And this is one of the reasons why they don't want America to come. Because to them, the terrorists have sort of like built communities. They have families too. There are children running around. Here you get. So we cannot just go there and just go and. That is their modus operandi. That is why when the terrorists are migrating, they are moving like this. The Nigerian army will be here. So the only thing they will do is to shoot in the sky, shoot in the air, to tell the terrorists that they should continue their business, so they shouldn't come this side. How is that normal? You are inside your church, or you are inside your mosque, or you are on your way to the market, or you are even inside the market, and then that video of those, of that Eruku church, the elderly women, still traumatizes me. Every time my mind just flashes to it. I'm just like, what if that was your own grandma? What if that's your own sister and her children? It could be anybody. So when somebody raised an alarm and said, well, from the satellite image, the blah, so they discovered that there are a sizable number of these Fulani settlement, or suspected to be Fulani terrorist settlement inside the jungle somewhere in Ogun State. So it made a video, and And fair enough, right? Fair enough. Immediately he shared that info, the Amotekun, police and others, right? They just, move straight to action, like, and everybody noticed, because right now people are actually living in fear of uncertainty, the fear of unknown. You just have no clue what's going to happen and when, right? So it's more or less like a lot of people are now like clinging onto the social media more to understand any like latest. You know what I mean? You don't want to get caught unaware, or sure you get. So when that information popped up on social media, that means the security guys in Ogun State actually got it, and they mobilized, and they said, oh, they found them. They were just a Fulani settlement that the people in the area, they were aware of them. That's what they said. Oh, let me see if I can put a picture on. So those who went, according to them, they said that the community is very much aware of their presence, and there is no real cause for alarm. That's what they said. Sorry, 1 second. I should have put that on, but I've been so much online that I had no space to put that up, okay? I can now. Yeah, that's it. So I'm trying to get the exact location. Or give me a sec, okay? I'm trying to put that up as well. So those are the vigilantes or the Amotekuns. States. Sorry, let me take this off. So they took their own area view of the area, and it's a place around Ajebo. Some of you know Ogun State very well. Ajebo in Obafemi Owode local government area of Ogun State. So they went inside that forest, settled, and raising their cows there, according to what the Amotekun and the police found when they got there. But they said the presence of these security guys created its own sort of like pandemonium, right? People were worried that, what's going on? Why are we having all these security guys here? Blah, blah, blah. So they now discovered that, oh, it's because there's an information on social media where this particular place was spotted from the satellite image. And from the news we are hearing everywhere, we want to be sure who they are. So they confirmed that they are Fulani. The Ajebo leaders, like those in Badagry, they're recently crowned Seriki Fulani of Badagry. All right. So these Ajebo people in Ogun State, the leaders there, they are aware that those guys are there. So since they are aware they are there, and they confirm that they are not a threat. Yeah. So we can rest it. That's what some people said. Okay. They'll be monitoring them. Oh man, yeah. For real. Now here is a soldier. It's a little bit sort of like a temperamental somehow, right? But he's a soldier who also has sort of like admitted that if the government will allow them to go after these terrorists, right, there will be no need for any American coming, because Nigeria and Nigerian soldiers, they have the capacity for its presentation. Listen to this.
You see all this problem? Mr. Bola Tinubu, you are the cause of it. You caused this problem. You give the audacity, you give the permission for this man, the Trump, the president of America, to come and start threatening you. I'm telling you, you are the cause. Because if the first time you give us order, you give us permission to fetch out those useless Boko Haram who claiming Islam, claiming Muslim. By now it's a story. But he fucked up. When we go to the battle, we saw the Boko Haram boys face to face, but we are waiting order from the army headquarters. What the fuck? This is bullshit. So that's what make this drum have the mouth to come out and say he wants to come to Nigeria and fight against Islam. Okay. So you Tinubu have to wake up. If you like, you better wake up from sleep you are doing, because we are ready to quench the fire. We don't need any American. We don't need any other country. Nigeria, we are the highest and powerful soldiers in Africa and the whole world. So I am giving you an advice, Mr. President, that you give me the power to enter anywhere where those banditries, those IPOPs, those Boko Haram, ISWAP, whatsoever, I am ready. Me with my boys, I just want a permission. I can go to bush, all these bushes, and clear their out, bring back those who were kidnapped in those areas. Is that very, very clear? You see all this.
It is smoke Igbo. It is take Indian. It is smoke Igbo. It is take Indian.
Because if you know the smoke Igbo berry, yeah, you are a soldier already. What other command? Okay, maybe he's also right, though, right? Because what he's indirectly telling you is that they've had an encounter where soldiers spotted the Boko Haram terrorists, but they couldn't fire. Can you believe that? This is actually unbelievable, though. Okay. And I really, really want some of other soldiers who can tell us if it's a lie, that they are counting bullets for Nigerian soldiers. Baba, people who won't go fight terrorists, they will count the bullets for them. So they will account for every bullet. You cannot just fire bullet anyhow. They will court-martial you. Like, what will... Okay. There was a video, even though it was like actually in Hausa, or I don't know Hausa, so I didn't bother bringing it, but I will tell you, some of you probably have seen it. So there's a video on TikTok when one Fulani terrorist, because they all have TikTok profile, by the way. So that's another thing, that if Nigeria is serious, are you with me? Nigeria will mop all those terrorist Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. For TikTok, they will see all their faces. Nigeria can build profiles of thousands of these terrorists by just going on their social media and then begin to go after them, picking their locations and the rest. Here you understand. I mean, is that not something that is possible? A government that will just mop up all these guys online, collect all this data, then ask all these platforms to deactivate all of their accounts. All the terrorist accounts, all of these Fulani terrorists on TikTok, they will just disappear. You will never see anything from them anymore. By then, the government has already collected all the data they needed, the one they could collect. locations and all of that, the background, everything. They would have collected everything. Then you won't see them anymore. Anyway, back to the story. So one TikTok video, right, where a Fulani terrorist was live and people were joining in. Then a couple of soldiers from Maiduguri fighting terrorists in Borno, they also joined. So they are now talking. So the terrorist was talking, everybody's talking. Then the conversation now got to Nigerian soldiers. They are just making mouths. They cannot do anything. So the soldiers were now telling the terrorist, okay, give us your location. Tell us where you are right now and see if we will not do anything. And you know what the terrorist said? Look at this one. You that, except they give you an order, you cannot shoot one bullet. Me. He actually said, if you see me, you cannot kill me because you have to wait for order before you can kill me. But me, I don't wait for order. I'll kill you. I'll kill you, nobody. I'll shoot and kill you. And nobody will ask me, why did I do it? He actually told a soldier, a Nigerian soldier, fighting terrorists in Borno on that live video. If you haven't seen it, maybe I should even bring it and show you. Baba, that sends some level of chill down my spine, like, oh, more not true. So as a soldier, you know that is true. A terrorist can fire 10,000 rounds of ammunition because he's a terrorist. He's unaccountable to anybody. But Nigerian army, Nigeria government that is fighting terrorists, they are counting bullets for their soldiers. Or more. They need to open an inquiry to that one. You got, I mean, you need to open an inquiry on it and check that. Or how is that possible? Like, you should give them unlimited ammo. Never run out ammo. They must never run out of ammo. Anywhere they see, you know what I mean? Open and defend and kill. But why? Because that is what is called systemic sabotage. The terrorists don't really have to do much. Those within the system are already crippling the system already for them. A system, a government that should be very powerful, as a country that should be very powerful and show the full of force against people who brought force and violence against your people. You have to return a very powerful force. No, because those inside holding positions, political, military, and all of that, they are within wrecking and breaking the system from within to be able to respond accordingly. That's why all of them have turned to advisors or prayer warriors. They'll tell you to let us pray. We should just be praying for our country. See, this problem, let's pray. Because that's the most they can do. Now, somebody who is praying and also raising alarm has been receiving death threat. Like death threat, because Dachomo, that's the Reverend Ezekiel Dachomo, that man from Plateau State. So he said they've told him to stop this nonsense he's doing. And who are those who are threatening him? The same Islamist that America is currently discussing. Watch this.
Somebody says, Reverend Dachomo, will stop exposing the government, your own government, your country. I say, oh, so I'm now exposing my government, in which they are watching me right inside Asoro on social media. Then I say, what of me? That the same government expose us to Fulani killings by refusing to stop Fulani from killing us. Are they not exposing us to them? Their silence is exposing the Christians all over Nigeria. Now, the Boko Haram, the Iswap, that they are divided, they are rejoicing, they kill because they know the government cannot do anything when they kill us. They have exposed us to Islamic terrorists by their silence. Not only silence, they came out publicly and say There's no genocide on Christian. That is another exposed war. That we are lying. I was at the gravesite from Abuja today. When I was just climbing Hawan Kibo, a phone call comes. And say, Reverend, have you heard what is happening? I say, what is happening again? I told they have attacked another one. And that one is more attack. It's more stronger. Sheikh Gumi, the son of late Gumi, that used to go and bargain with terrorists. He came out and said, all the corpses that we buried is a lie. It's only coffin. We buried coffin. All of them, they are empty. I've nailed his name. He must appear through Interpol. Even when he hides in Saudi Arabia, already they have, even if he hides in Saudi Arabia, I'm very sorry for him. They will fish him out. He will appear in the International Criminal Court of the world to come and testify. And I want them to put high delegate together with Minister of Defense, SSS of Nigeria. They must be at the grave. I've told the youth in the village to guard the village, to guard that tomb, because very soon they will send their machineries to come and dig the grave in the night and remove evidence. The security men that are working in that village, I said they should help in guiding the village, the tomb, the monument. And I want the chief judge of Nigeria must be present. If really they want sincerity, factual, they should be present. Chief of Defense, Chief of Army Staff, GOC must be present. Let us dig the grave and see what is there. Who is lying? Turning my tears to become a hypocrite trash. There is an empty coffin. God of vengeance will fight. Go to my Facebook, you will see me crying at the grave. I command the grave by the power of Jesus to release her anger, to hunt down Sheikh Gumi wherever he is. He will never know peace.
What shall I say unto the Lord?
Yes, Lord.
All I have to say,
Thank you, Lord. What shall I say? Thank you, Lord.
Do you know why you have to thank God for that man? He is the face of resistance to the Fulani hegemony, backed by the corrupt, illegitimate regime of Tinubu. If anything happened to him now, I'm not saying that they can't kill him all, but at this stage, if anything happened to him, Tinubu's government may actually pay for it. Yeah. Like the collapse of the government, the collapse of the entire APC, everything. That's how much it could be. Because it's deliberate. People expected that they are going to be targeting him. So right now, they have provided their special military, what have you, soldiers guiding the community. This is a man that have lost a sizable number of his own congregation to these murderers. Is buried at the point, he said, they were burying people every day. There's always, whether not 2, 3, 1 person, this every day. And the world was totally like blind and deaf to them. Not even the government of Nigeria. So now that the world has gotten their attention, they are now being blackmailed, gaslighted, lied upon, denying this genocide, denying these people slaughtered by this murderous terrorist. Gumi is still walking about, inciting anger and, division, toxic rhetorics that are pretty much pushing the advocacy of the right of these murderers and talking less. I mean, Gumi wants us to send them to school, train them. Where is that going to start from? Those ones who have been conscripted into this terrorism by an ideology. So that's our duty. And if the government failed to do that, then they will continue to kill us. And the government will do what? Just watch them because they are powerless. And that is all right. Like an hopeless situation that, well, there's nothing we can do. We have done we have done our best. But you continue to disarm the people while you harm the terrorists as well as your political terrorists too. So make that make sense, right? So in Nasarawa today, there was an alarm bell, right, at the school when it was reported that the Fulani terrorists have indeed struck again and they've kidnapped another stuff for school children. That prompted the parents of these children to rush down to the school. And those who arrived early, right? I mean, those who were able to manage to see their own children in the pandemonium. So it was believed that they were still doing head count. But later, the state came out to say, no, people were just scared when they saw massive movement of hunters. God. People saw a massive convoy of hunters on bikes with guns, and they thought they were terrorists. That is why they all rushed to the school to go and grab their children, since they heard what just happened in Niger State a few hours earlier, like overnight. But I'm not buying that. But anyway, the pandemonium.
Hello? Couldn't buy more patient. You okay? You got that? You can buy those. You know, buy more, you know, buy more. You can buy those in your mind more. You know, buy one. Yeah? Hello? Hello?
So the school is it's a Peter's Foundation school in Lafayette. Did you see the whole environment as well, the surroundings? Nigerian politicians don't deserve any kind of mercy. When the revolution starts, they do not deserve any mercy. If you actually seen what they have, the way they have treated their people, the poverty they created, which has further created this whole madness that you are witnessing. Nigeria is currently facing today. the criminal politicians whose own corruption, incompetence, and what have you have created this problem. And the problem kind of like stares you in the face. Like everywhere you go, it is palpable. It is everywhere. You know? And I'm like, they do not deserve any kind of like prayer, whatever. Like they do not deserve. I don't know what to call it because I want to watch what I say, right? They don't. So while American Congress, Americans House of Representatives were discussing these killings in Nigeria, and people were asking, what about the National Assembly of Nigeria? What are they doing? How come they have not even visited some of these places where these killings are taking place? Talk to these victims, Nigerians, you know, like show that you want to have the first-hand information, not just hold up in Abuja. Because if they want evidence of this, how bad this is, do you know that some of these lawmakers, they don't even go to their constituency anymore? In northern Nigeria, there are some of them who don't even go there anymore. They just, from Abuja to the state capital. So they just pretend to just be in the good book of the governor. So that whenever they are rigging the election next time, they will rig him too. It's just from Abuja. There are some of them who have not been to their own communities for the past 10 years. Not their state, they will go to the state capital. They have all their foot soldiers. The ones they dangle the crumbs, like the ones that pick up all their crumbs to eat, right? Those ones are back in the war-torn areas, telling the people living in that fear that Honorable loves them, Honorable cares about them, but they won't go there. Do you also know that there are presently over 10,000 schools that have been closed in the core north of Nigeria because of this jihadi terrorism? And everybody's just living on, just moving on like, here you get, like it's nothing. More than 10,000 schools have either been destroyed, like burned down, or abandoned to rot away. Over 10,000 schools. Think about the number of children that have been denied education in those areas. In northern Nigeria, but they have governors, they have all of these people that continues to pretend that everything is fine as long as they are holding their political positions in Nigeria today. And it's been like that for years. Do you think if me, I know, the government of Nigeria didn't know? Or the governors of some of these states where schools have been shut down, many communities have been completely desolated, like, here you get. Do you think they didn't know? And have you ever seen any of them that appeared on screen worried about all of this? No. When it's something that is going to affect their political career or political advantage, they will make that urgent. Fast. You will see seriousness on all of them. Even beat themselves up, like those guys in PDP, beating themselves up. But you will never see them fight for you, for Nigeria, the same way. There was that murderer, the typical Nigerian lawmaker. This is what they discussed.
To let you know that with me today here are my 4 respected wives. Halima can stand up, please. 1. Uma, stand up. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker. These 4 wives you have seen have produced 27 kids for me, and I'm still counting.
I must bring to the knowledge of this house a little anecdote.
Somebody who never worked in his life. He was an Okada rider in Kano. Then he joined Kwakwan SOP. He became House of Assembly member. From there, they promoted him. He became House of Representative member. And he's been in the House of Representatives now for like over 12 years. He's never really done any real job in his life. He has 4 wives, 27 children that Nigeria is feeding, taking care of. In 2023, the people, his name is Dogua, so the people from his constituency rejected him. You know what he did? when he realized that the election was not going to go his way, he mobilized his own boys, went straight to a particular polling ward, rounded up all those who he believed were working against him, including women, right? And they shot and killed 27 people. No, sorry. Yeah, 27 people killed. And you know what they did? They put their body, they dumped their body in a house, and they set the whole house ablaze. That means, here you get, to bury evidence. He was arrested with the other accomplice, and his other accomplices rather. So they took him to court. His accomplices confessed that he didn't send them. He was not there. They did it on their own volition. So the court removed his name. And guess what? They still managed to announce his name as the winner of the election. Now, you get to understand why he's got no other job. He's got no other survivor. He needs to feed 27 children, 4 wives, and God knows how many concubines. Because he said he's still counting. That video you watched there, that was about 2.5 years ago. Those are the charlatans. And those are the junior, they call them junior chamber, House of Representatives in Nigeria. Okay? What about the senior chamber? The Senate? But they are not different, if you care to know. They are the ones singing.
How many times would they tell you before you know that Nigeria is not for you? Ah! Now they never leave you. They have left you behind. Photo, not be juju be that. Sorry, oh. May God not allow them, make them kill you. 70 years old man. Oh.
Anyway, let's leave them for a while. Because the atrocities, the criminalities they keep committing, right, seems to be limitless. Yesterday, Omotosho, reading a written script, handed a life imprisonment to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu because of what he said in his broadcast without any evidence of anyone saying Nnamdi Kanu killed my family member. I am a witness. Or Nnamdi Kanu gave me the guns. In fact, he gave me this or that to commit this crime. Without any of that, and without any law at all to back up any of the charges they have against him, he was handed a life imprisonment. Do you know what else they did? Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has now been taken to a prison in Sokoto, where they have the Lakurawa, where they have the Boko Haram, where they have all kinds of these Fulani jihadists as well, roaming the area. And you know that it is this Fulani caliphate that actually waged the war on the Biafrans, right? So the Fulani oligarchs who wanted the Igbos and the rest of Nigeria to be subjugated somehow, when Nnamdi Kanu started raising alarm of what the Fulani terrorists would be doing to us, including Boko Haram, and what their sponsors would do to protect them and gaslight you. All of that are coming to pass now. And Tifnumbu has now delivered Nnamdi Kanu to the Fodio descendants. So what is their plan? To probably fake a prison break and then kill him? Because this is the man that told millions of you years ago everything you are witnessing today. You want him killed? Now they've delivered him to the terrorists. However, there are those who still believe that this madness can be stopped if the supposed responsible people in that country prevail upon Tifnumbu and his handlers, right? to save the last dance. Because when this whole sky will come crashing, many sins will be remembered, and there will be no restitution, so to say, no retribution. Listen to this view.
Today, I want to talk about the conviction and sentence of Mazina Dekano by the federal court in Abuja. Well, fact number one, this is a political trial for the simple reason that the allegation of terrorism could have been levied against many Nigerians, either Boko Haram, Fulani herdsmen, even the OPC in Lagos. I was lawyer to Fadrik Fashion, lawyer to several of them, evangelists, Elijoko, several of the leaders of OPC, and I know the level of violence. Two, this is also a trial that has been unfair in many ways. But the real question is this. The trial of Nnamdi Kanu's conviction is a political trial of Ndigo, for the simple reason that even if those allegations are true, there still would have been no trial. As many Nigerian terrorist enablers, those who have spoken in favor of terrorism, are free. Now, this is where it comes home. Ndigo are facing persecution and have been tried politically. But we should resist every anger to turn this into violence or killing the Southeast. It's a trap to destabilize the region. And so the first lesson is don't do it. Second, Ndigo is being tried because they are politically powerless. So this is the time for all Nnamdi Kanu supporters and friends who are angry to come. Let's build a strong political movement, take power in the Southeast, and bring governors and senators who have the guts, the competence, and the ball to defend, protect, and ensure equal justice for Ndigo. Nnamdi Kanu's conviction is a conviction of Ndigo politically, and it shows political weakness. It's time now to turn this anger and outrage into strong political movement to win power in the region, to bring governors and senators and other leaders who can stand up, who knows that we are oppressed, we are a victim. Don't. Today, I want to...
Makes sense. Because the reason why Nnamdi Kanu faced that level of persecution in Nigeria and for these years is simply because the Igbo political class wanted it that way. Now, others may call it betrayal. Some will call it, weakness, and the rest, whatever you want to call it, they were rewarded greatly. They were rewarded in APC, they were rewarded by APC, just by allowing the government of the Fulani terrorists in Nigeria to humiliate Nnamdi Kanu. What was he saying? Raising alarm, telling us about the intention of all these guys. Most of what all of us talks about all the time. And then the political class were lying to their people, making or giving them the impression that they were talking to Bokwari. Yet they were seeing all of the shenanigans going on in the judiciary, with the judiciary, is trial and the rest of that. So you may call it weakness, you may call it betrayal, what have you. It is just, and you will be right. You may call it selfishness, you may call it probably being like a dreaded of him, whatever. But they allowed it to happen. I need you to know that. So the Igbos are politically weak in Nigeria because the Igbo representatives want to be weak. They would rather play the second fiddle, try to pacify the people that have been destroying Nigeria for decades. You've had the northern Nigeria plus the middle belt, considering Gowon, who have ruled Nigeria for nearly 50 years. Then you have the other part, the Niger Delta, the region, who ruled Nigeria for 5 years. Then you have us, the Yorubas, who have ruled Nigeria, Obasanjo 11 years, Tinubu 2.5 years, 13.5 years, 18.5 years in the south, minus the Igbos, and 18 plus, 47 years by the Middle Belt and the northern Nigeria. But yet, now the Igbos are supposed to apologize to Nigeria. Like, how daft, how deluded could people be? The Igbos can be trusted. The Igbos have to, I'm not advocating for you per se, in case if you're an Igbo person all the time and you see that I speak that way, it is because if you want to know what is wrong with Nigeria, genuinely, just take a look at the way the system have treated the Igbos. When we're growing up, they lied to us. Even that one, that kind of like, I think that theory itself is probably like a 40, okay? And it's a bit, it's kind of like a bit excessive to say, but I'll tell you, when we're growing up, they used to tell us that the three major ethnic groups in Nigeria, they were the Hausas, the Yorubas, and the Igbos. And these, they came by based on population size. Here you get. However, there are other subgroups who, according to our own civic history teachers, made us believe that they are smaller, they are subgroup. The way they describe them, the way they kind of like, psychologically conditioned our minds, right? Only for us to grow up to now realize that, they say we have 3 major ethnic groups in Nigeria. Then you started hearing people say the Igbos cannot be trusted. So which means the Yorubas and the Hausas, they can be trusted, they can work together. So in this Nigeria, the power will have to be decided between these two. Then what happened to the third one? I said, no, we can't trust the third one. I was like, then Nigeria is not one country then. I got to know about this a while back, like a very long time ago. And I've always been like this very inquisitive, like curious person when I was younger. Maybe I'm still like curious. So then, I started like reading more about this contraption and the players. And it became very obvious that there's no way this country can be the same country. If we have people who genuinely believes that the Igbos can lead Nigeria, because don't let me lie to you, I grew up among the people who kept explaining to me why, not that because they accepted that. Here you get, they were telling me when I was a young boy that, the reason why they won't let the Igbo people lead Nigeria is because they believe that once the Igbos become president of Nigeria, it will break up Nigeria. Here you get, like adults were telling me as a little boy. And I was like, okay, so they will break Nigeria. But I didn't understand. Seriously, I didn't understand what that actually meant. But I remember I've been told that many, many times. But why? You remember that the Biafra War. So the Biafra War was like, so they forced them back to Nigeria. And since then, they've made sure that they've tried to cut the other supposed old eastern region. So that's why they created state too. I was like, okay, so they created state in Nigeria because they wanted to trap the Igbos inside and make it. And after they created all these states, right? They divided the Igbos. They made them so small. And then you realize that this is deliberate because the state creation is not even the creation of the people. If you want to create a state, that means people have to come together and agree to be in this state. No, they didn't. They just woke up and said they have drawn the map like the colonial master did, right? They just drew the map like this and said, this is Ghana. This is Togo. This is Benin Republic. This is Nigeria. You know what I mean? That's what the Fulani terrorists and their early buds did. The threat of Gowon was that if Ojukwu should declare Biafra, Igbo one will declare core state. You get that now? And that is a cross river, Ogoja and Calabar. And the rivers. These were part of the old eastern region as one entity. Like you had the old western region, you had the old western region, you had the old northern region. But these power guys, after the war, they were like, we need to balkanize the Igbos. So you now see states like Rivers. You have Igbos there; they are minority. You have states, you have states like Edo, you have states like a Delta. You have states like a Benue. You have states like a Kogi. Yeah, you have states that they intentionally just, the Igbos were not called when they started creating all these states per se. They probably just have to be like, okay, yeah, we're happy. So all these injustices, when you study them so long, you realize that, wait, what if this was not the Igbos that are being treated this way? Because it could be anyone. What if it's the Hausas? Until I grew up and I realized that, until now, when APC, Ebeke came, I started hearing Hausa Fulani, Hausa Fulani. Fulanis are not indigenous to Nigeria. That's the correct history. They are not. But in the last 10, 15 years, our vocabulary is now about Hausa Fulani, Hausa Fulani. Now, it's almost like Hausa is almost like getting out of it. It's now Fulani, 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 Fulani Yoruba, and others. So that's what got me hinting on this, that a lot of you need to see it, a lot of you need to know it, because the same way you might feel comfortable with whatever history they have fed you with that justified why they told you the Igbos can be trusted. How can you say a major ethnic group can lead Nigeria, that they have to beg others? Beg you for what? That they bankrupted Nigeria, that they funded the terrorism against Nigeria. What? Come on. So that's why I kept saying, in case if you don't know, the Igbos are those you are seeing now. The way Nigeria is, if all of us are being kind of reasonable, right? Whatever it is that motivates the Igbos to keep pressing, no matter whatever systemic oppression that exists in Nigeria, the spirit of pushing and not giving up and all of that, when you look at what motivates them, majority of that is what I just mentioned: the marginalization, the inequality, the systemic Cold War, the profiling. They exist, right? But when you look at, like I said, when you look at some of them, for example, the marginalization, the Igbos are not the only people marginalized in Nigeria, if we're all being honest, right? But majority of us have been appeased with that vanity of, now our man be president, we are the one in power. Yet there is no access to drinkable water, even in your city, not to talk of the remotest of your communities. There is no direct benefit that changes your life to say because you are in power or you are favored, you have this and that. There's no direct benefit to you. It's just for these criminals who are sharing it at the top with themselves, using you, your tribe, your ethnic, including your religion, as their meal ticket, which gives them access to the table where they share your common patrimony. So if the Igbos are saying we want to live, we don't want to be part of this anymore, if all of us have been honest with ourselves, with what Nigeria has become, has always been right the way, right? Everybody should be asking to say we want out. And that's something that would then destroy or end the party. Currently, the criminals in power, the elite, they are prayer warriors, the religious bandits, and the rest of them. Yeah, they are all feasting on your flesh, your blood, your soul, your life, and every other thing. So if Nigeria breaks today, that party will be over. So when they tell you that Nigeria is not breakable, it's not this or that, it's not because of you, it's because of them. Because if Nigeria ends tomorrow, the party is over. Straight up. So Nnamdi Kanu then became the #1 public enemy. Somebody who has not done anything to you. Oh, he said. The right thing to do is that if he directly and personally committed this crime, the right thing to do is to present the evidence of that. But courts can join his broadcast, his statement, and then convict him because of his rhetoric, and then send him to life imprisonment in the heart of the caliphate, where the Sultan of Sokoto rules, right? So what's the motive? What's the plan? So his lawyers, when they got to the DSS office in Abuja today, that was when they realized that he's been moved. Then Ejimako has something to say afterward. But watch this first in front of their DSS office in Abuja this afternoon.
Okay. Good day, everybody, all lovers of freedom. My name is Nnemeke Ejiofor. I am one of the lawyers to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. I'm here with my colleagues, Maxwell Opara, PhD, and this Ijoma Ifedinobi, Esquire. We just came out from visiting the State Security Service department of the FCT, and we have been informed by the Director of Operations that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is no longer in their custody. He has been moved to a safe correctional facility in Sokoto State. So right now, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is now in Sokoto State, and our challenge anyway in this is that most of the documents he's supposed to file in Abuja Court of Appeal, he may not be able to file it anymore because he needed to file processes at the Court of Appeal to challenge the judgment that was delivered yesterday by the Federal High Court Judge, Honorable Justice James Omotosho. And moving him to Sokoto is now going to act as an impediment to his filing those appeal processes. But in any case, we are guaranteed and assured that where he is in Sokoto is safe for him at the moment. And we are hoping and praying that he could be relocated back here in Abuja, where we believe is safer for him and much better for him to pursue his appeal. Thank you very much.
By the special grace of God, the appeal will be ready for filing by next week. So that is the position. Thank you.
So they took him to Sokoto. They're having a laugh. I told you that Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped from Kenya, just to keep him like a trophy for this Fulani unseen hands, the oligarch behind the scenes, who felt like Nnamdi Kanu has actually done them. What exactly will make this Fulani oligarch hate him that much that they want him out of circulation? Have you ever thought of that? I have. It's because most of what we are seeing today, that some of us are feeling alarmed. Oh my God. 10 years ago, when Nnamdi Kanu was raising the alarm, it was sounding like an alarmist. It was sounding like a madman to some of you, because you couldn't even imagine what he was saying. Like, how is that even possible? What's this guy saying? How is that possible? It's not possible in this country. Now you have seen most of the things you've told yourselves once that's never possible. They will never happen. And you have seen them happen in Nigeria today. Rather than you to feel like, I have heard this before. No, you are now feeling alarmed. Oh my God, how did we get here? When did Nigeria get to this level? How can they go? What's going on? What's going on in this country? You're pretending. There's a man that raised the alarm, and they spent a decade to condition you to hate him. And it's working for some of you. Unfortunately, it is also not working. Because the criminals that want you to hate him They don't like you. Take a look at all their actions, their inactions, and all of that stuff. Any of them that you can see how directly and indirectly they affect you, then you realize that they want you killed. So anyone raising the alarm beforehand is probably considered as, how did he know? Where did he get it from? Why is he saying that in public? And then all hell let loose by this rogue. So it's temporary. Nothing should happen to Nnamdi Kanu in that place. I know some of you will tell yourself that even that, if something happened to him, what's going to happen? Currently, a lot of people are doing their best to calm the nerves of the people in the eastern part of Nigeria. And mind you, I'm not saying that there are no anti-Nnamdi Kanu in the eastern part of Nigeria. If you are one of them, please don't what do you call it? Don't overrate yourself. All right? Because, there are those of you who have been a better, useful agent of, this propaganda. You are not bold enough to even ask your supposed governors or your supposed government, what exactly is your job if you think Nnamdi Kanu that is locked up in a solitary confinement for years is so powerful that he's controlling people that are too powerful for you as a government? Come on, give me a break. None of you probably want to say that. But the thing is this, it's temporary and nothing should happen to him. A lot of them believe that, this is politics and they will use your political whatever to sort it at some point. Some are even saying that Tinubu is just saving it for the last dance, where he's going to want to take a glory that he would use to get to to warm his way to the heart of the Igbos by pardoning Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu is not guilty of any crime. Nnamdi Kanu is not convicted of any crime. You see all these things you are watching? They are a script. They are actually acting the script, so to say. Here,
who was convicted in 1963 for treason.
His entire legal team. I mean, did he undermine his case by doing that? I mean, you were a member of that. In fact, you were at the forefront of his legal team. I mean, and then you were suddenly transformed into a consultant, and you couldn't even speak in court today on his behalf. I mean, did he undermine his own case by doing that?
No, he didn't. This is not the first time it has happened. You recall that Awolowo had defended himself, if you go back to 1963 in history. At some point, Mahatma Gandhi defended himself in South Africa and even in India. And Nelson Mandela at some point defended himself. So did Martin Luther King. It's not unusual. This is a politically charged case. I think a strategic decision was made by him at some point that he probably would have done a better job than the lawyers. The lawyers do these cases within a very narrow confine of some decorum or some kind of behavior that is imposed on the lawyers that may sometimes may become prejudicial to the client in a politically charged case like this. This case wasn't a complex case. This case depended very much on a misguided prosecutorial policy that, pretty much zeroed in on Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, maybe because of the region he came from. That prosecutorial policy is not being levied, not words. We have a different prosecutorial or different counter-terrorism policy up in the north, which is engagement.
Well, let me come in there and ask.
The comparison may be too far afield.
Well, let me come in there.
It has to be an equal opportunity crime.
Indeed, but let me come in there and ask you this, because of the fact that you raised the issue of the southeast. What are the potential security risks in the southeast region in your assessment? Do you think this verdict will lead to increased tensions or calm in the region? Briefly.
Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is committed to non-violence. I also take this opportunity to appeal for calm, just like others have done. But whether people are angry or not, they are indeed angry, because there is a perception that this whole thing is sectionalized. That perception has to be removed, and the growing notion that he's being singled out is gaining currency.
So how do we stop this? We stop it by the government changing its policy a little bit to, giving everybody equal opportunity, equal peril.
Right.
If you did something wrong, if you are from the north, they treat you as badly as they treat someone who did it wrong from the east or the west. But when you single a certain region and you levy an attritional prosecution against someone, it creates this perception. And of course, it kind of heightens the alienation of that very region and makes worse the very problem you're trying to solve, which is the problem of inclusion and exclusion.
Right.
And this is what is driving the agitation. But having said that, calm is required because we still have opportunities laying ahead.
Indeed. Let me come.
Like, what was their intention in taking Nnamdi Kanu to Sokoto? That's another question, though. We have probably figured out why they wanted him to continue to have difficulty in building any of his case because he's going to the appeal. And remember the last time Binta Nyako sentenced him to 20 years in prison, right? For treason. And that got quashed a year after by the appeal court. Most of the charges they also listed and Nnamdi Kanu is convicted of right now is double jeopardy. Most of those charges were also listed in their 2022 case when Nnamdi Kanu was discharged and acquitted by the appeal court that they disobeyed, they dishonored, they never honored that judgment. Now, Omotosho, the angry Omotosho, gave a verdict and possibly also told them to take him to the caliphate. Let's go and deliver him to them in Sokoto. Here, Ejimako added, by the way.
Who was convicted in 1963 for treason. That conviction was equally questionable, and it was overturned through a political decision that was, there's a debate whether it was Gowon or Ojukwu that made that decision, but in any case, it was a political decision that set him free. Nelson Mandela as well was convicted. He served time, long, 27 years. It was political decision of the South African government under de Klerk that set him free. So was that of Enahoro, Nnamdi Azikiwe, Mbazulika Amechi. And then when you go to the United States itself, Martin Luther King was convicted at one point.
Right, very briefly, we're almost out of time.
And again, Mahatma Gandhi. So now, this conviction, described as a travesty of justice, not just by the United States, by everybody. So it gives Nigerian government the opportunity to step in. If something went down, something went wrong, there's a new opportunity, a new window of opportunity to solve it. You see, America took a very weighty decision recently to intervene security-wise in this country, and they never mentioned the IPOB on Nnamdi Kanu anywhere. If they do, it's going to be in favorable times, not in disfavorable times.
Right. Okay, I've got to go.
Kind of points a way forward for Nigerian government to do that, so that this sense of exclusion and alienation in the South is that is running rife will be checked once and for all.
Barrister Aloy Ejimako, Honorable Benedict Tene.
Who was convicted in 1963.
Thank you, Ejimako. They are not interested in law. They are not interested in equity or equality. It is about power and subjugation. Now, let's see how far that will take them, because they have already pressed the self-destruct button. The whole thing that is playing out right now are the consequences of Tinubu's desperation. Those around him who have been sabotaging, if he had any effort at all, to go after terrorists, who have been sabotaging his, I don't even know if I should be giving him that benefit of the doubt, right? But now let's give him, right? Those who have been advising him and all of that, whatever they are doing, policy-wise and the rest of that, is what Nigeria is today, right? So all of that is coming from his desperation to grab it, snatch it, and run with it. Now, their situation is like the monkeys that stole a car. Now, monkeys stole a car, but here we go. They can't drive it. Tinubu stole presidency of Nigeria. Here we go. He can't protect you. So let's see how far this goes. Enjoy the rest of your evening, but don't forget to like the broadcast, okay? Please don't forget. I'm just reminding you, right? Like the broadcast, share it as well. I will see you another time. Good night.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one.
Mayegun làwa mọ̀ làmọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one.
Mayegun ti dé o ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one.
Lórí Facebook, lórí YouTube.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one.
Gbogbo bó ṣe ń lọ ni Mayegun já wa sí.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one.
Àṣírí ọ̀jẹ̀lú kì í bò níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one.
Bó bá ṣe eré àní Mayegun máa wí.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one.
Ó sì tún ṣe eré wàá gbọ́ níbẹ̀ o.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one.
Mayegun Diary, Diary politico.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one.
Godfatherism kò sí lọ́rọ̀ Mayegun.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one.
Ẹ farabalẹ̀ sẹ́ o kẹgọ́rọ̀ lẹ́nu o.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one.
Àní Mayegun làwa mọ̀ tó dòdòdò.
Mayegun Diary, Mayegun number one.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Mayegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí Facebook.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Lórí YouTube.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ijó ìgbádìyẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Kí gómìnà gbówó jẹ.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọlọ́pàá ti ń darí bá.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Aṣòfin ti ń rúfin o.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú.
Mayegun máa wí.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Àní ẹ̀sùn ràkì.
Mayegun ti dé.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran.
Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o. Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀. Mayegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò fẹ́ bẹ̀. Oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o.
Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Mayegun ti dé. Gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀sùn ràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
kì máa yí ṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀ kì máa yí ṣeré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣẹ̀fẹ̀ ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ Máyégún ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ ṣá máa ń ṣọ́ra kò sì mọ́ bẹ̀rù bọ́tà ń lè rí bóníṣègùn lé káwọn mọ̀mọ́ fi ṣera wọn ni ó ti dẹrùn tí wọn ò gbọ́dọ̀ sè mọ́bẹ̀. èèpo ọ̀bọ lọmọ bá dérò tàjẹ́ ò gbọ́dọ̀ jẹ́ ó ti jọba lórí àbínú ẹni kò sì mọ́ bùyà àìsíwọ́lu ní ẹnìkẹ́ ìgbódì ẹyin lábàrá o ó kó ẹni tó bá dán wò á kàmù. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ túnra kì o ẹni bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dèrò òní fi wọ́n níran o.
Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. Máyégún ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súnra kí. ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ ò ní fi wọ́n níran.